Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the only podcast produced by three winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. You're listening to the Check Engine Podcast. My name is Nick. With me, as always, Tristan is behind the controls, and Andrew is seated on the other end of the table here. What's going on, guys? What's happening?
We never know what to do when you introduce us both. I get scared.
Yeah, and then my brain just got stuck on the fact you said the other end of a round table. And I blanked out.
Yikes. And this was take 3 getting this episode going, too,
We're in
by the way.
episode 2 of season 2. We are now professional.
That's right.
Nope, no.
No, we're not even close. You guys are both very orange today, and you're matching.
Always very orange.
Yeah,
you don't need the shirt, so why'd you wear one?
I figured I'd get all matchy.
Everyone attack the ginge.
No.
Not again.
So yeah, guys, as you can tell, we're not pros, but you're listening anyway, so we appreciate it. And hey, thanks for hanging with us through that marathon that was episode 1. That was a 90-minute episode that you guys just stuck it out for. So
too much happened. If the car industry would do less, we wouldn't have to talk about all
less
of it.
wild, bizarre
wild
news.
shit.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's actually almost all of it is some kind of corporate espionage.
Yeah. Pretty much
Crazy out there.
It was crazy.
Stop being so crazy, and we'll stop having to put together 90-minute episodes.
but you guys hung in there. We appreciate it. And you probably listened on our home base, which was Anchor.fm, which is a smart move because Anchor does pretty much everything for us. You can start there, and it'll take you to pretty much anywhere that podcasts are streamed. If you disagree with us in any way, which is believable,
entirely plausible,
and you want to let us know that you don't like something that we said, or you just want to reach out and be nice, you can start at checkenginepodcast.com. That's right. Even though we're not pros, we have our own website, and that can link you up and send you basically anywhere you want to go.
Don't make promises our website can't keep. Send us anywhere. You can get in contact with us anywhere you want to get in contact with us.
And you can read our blogs.
It's not like Expedia or Orbitz or anything.
I can't think of a third thing you'd want to do.
Can't take you anywhere you want to go.
You can listen through there.
That's right. You can listen on our website.
You can listen on the website.
That's everything. That's all the things.
That's all the things that anybody could ever want to do. So calm yourself.
So do it.
So calm yourself. Man,
I am calm.
We got off to a strong start on this one.
As you mentioned, I haven't had any Diet Coke in a while. Getting a little irritable.
Twitch.
The guy behind the controls is irritable. That's not good for anybody else. Cool episode tonight, though. Andrew, what's the premise of tonight's episode? What are we going to be talking about?
Well, late last year, Aston Martin announced that they were discontinuing the Vantage, and would replace it with something else. So, in an unusual twist on what normally happens when a car manufacturer just discontinues a model, a mystery buyer came in out of nowhere and bought all the tooling for the Vantage for $26 million. They just bought all the machines, and I assume all the frames to make the doors and everything,
the molds and the whatever else.
Yeah, all the tooling.
Yeah, they just bought everything, and they haven't announced who it is. But this is a concept stolen directly off Jalopnik. Because their question was, what car would you bring back? And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I will take that and pass it off as my own. So
because we're not pros.
That's right. So we're going to talk about the cars from the past, at any point in the past, that we would bring back and update with modern technology, but use all the same chassis, same appearance, and all that stuff. Cars we'd bring back.
Yeah, so for example, what we wouldn't do is do a Mitsubishi and bring back something called the Eclipse, and it's not a front or front all-wheel drive sports coupe.
Right.
It's, it has to be same.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Just modern tweaks, modern amenities.
Yes.
But yeah, you're not changing the drivetrain or anything like that. Interesting concept. Mm-hmm. Interesting topic. Look forward to getting into it in here. And by the way, folks, no one here knows what anybody else picked. So it's going to be natural.
I think you guys are going to be very surprised. I'm excited.
I don't know that old...
Normally we give each other previews so we don't repeat. So this is a risk that we're taking
I
here.
just don't know that bringing
it's
back
not.
the Quattro is that exciting. Like,
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Who am I kidding?
All right.
We shall shoot.
When you
we
fall
shall,
over dead, I'm going to be really sad because this podcast is going to be over. But I'll also be vindicated.
this kills me. But I can't wait.
You will
to
hear you will hear two dull thuds.
And I'll be like,
Tris-
well, have a nice night, everybody.
Tristan will say, "Yes, victory." Goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cue the outro.
Cue the outro music. So, but before we get into that, as always, we kick off our shows with some pace laps. Andrew was very what?
I know where he's going with this. I'm laughing ahead of time. I'm sorry. I can't
a
help it.
pre-laugh.
Yeah.
It's a little pre-laugh.
This is a serious issue.
So Andrew was very excited. He needed to talk about this with us. So
I don't think excited is the right word.
We all need to talk about this.
All right.
So over the Christmas break, my dad was coming to pick me up. I forget what we were doing, probably going to Home Depot or something. And so he comes and pulls in the driveway, and I walk out to his car. And in the passenger seat is a plastic grocery store container full of chicken bones. And I was like, what's that doing here? He's like, I hadn't eaten. So on the way over, I picked up what I usually get when I'm on the road. And I was like, what?
I'm sorry.
He's like, yeah, it's just the bone-in barbecue chicken from the grocery store. And I was like, bone-in?
Excuse me, what?
So my dad, somewhat regularly, eats bone-in barbecue chicken while driving.
like rotisserie chicken?
Like the wings and the flats.
Okay, yeah.
Also, like
okay.
chicken wings.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Bone-in
chicken
wings.
while driving.
Jesus. Okay, so I thought it was like a rotisserie chicken.
That would be
and I
worse.
was even more appalled. Still, though, bone in.
My question is,
I
how?
could see people getting away with like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I'm on the regular
ra-
tenders in the car.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, like
boneless stuff.
The boneless stuff. I was almost going to say bone out there.
Which is also a thing. I've seen that on menus.
But you definitely need two hands to eat a wing, like a chicken wing.
Not the way I've seen some people eat it.
Put the whole thing in your mouth, make beaver noises, and then the bone comes out.
Yep. Just grab it on one end, just stuff the whole thing in there, and just.
Or possibly buzzsaw noises.
Could you please lean into the mic and make a beaver noise?
I couldn't, because I don't eat bone-in chicken wings.
I just think, is this a thing?
Have you seen your dad eat wings before? Do you know how he eats
Does
wings?
he eat them with one
two
hand?
hands.
He's a two-handed guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why this is so concerning for me.
Is his car a manual? Because then
No,
that'd really
it's
be a
not.
feat.
It's a 4 or a RAV4.
Oh.
So it's at least automatic. But he also needs glasses and doesn't wear them. So that makes two super major distractions.
Why are you driving with him?
He's going to have a terrible accident while eating wings. And that's going to be hard to explain.
And not wearing glasses.
So does he miss his face? Like, does he miss his mouth without the glasses?
See, that's the thing. There was no sauce anywhere in the car. Not in the steering wheel. And there were also no wet naps.
That might be the only reason I don't do it is the sauce factor. Like
That's
boneless,
definitely a risk.
like boneless or otherwise. Like
I had an invention in my mind.
I don't even
for
get ketchup when I get like fries through a
for a
drive-thru.
gimbal.
Not the goddamn gimbal.
The gimbal, the sauce gimbal. You know this one.
I know it.
It mounts on your steering wheel, and as you turn the wheel, it orients your sauce cup so it never flips upside down.
So it's like a
Elbow
giant.
it, though.
Genius.
So what happens when something quick happens and you move your hand and you hit your sauce gimbal and the thing flips?
No, it's a gimbal, Nick. It's a gimbal. Listen to me.
I don't think you understand. Why would you run into it? Don't be bad at driving.
I guess.
Hey, it could also be vent mounted.
That is
would
a
work.
thing. I swear
that's
a thing.
that I would. Yeah, that I would
that would
consider
work.
not the steering wheel thing.
It's a gimbal. I mean,
Don't you drive with one hand anyway?
I normally do. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm eating chicken tenders with my right hand. My left hand is driving the car. And I'm dipping where my right hand would go on the wheel.
But that's not where you want it, though, because in an emergency situation, that's where you're going to grab.
You're going to
That's what I mean.
grab right where the gimbal is.
Yeah,
You're going to have sauce everywhere.
it's already an emergency. Who cares?
What?
If it's that much of an emergency that you can just snap both hands onto the wheel, where the barbecue sauce goes, no one cares.
It could just stay in the bottle, though.
Bottle?
Or it could just stay on the vent.
You are giving me the question bottle when I know for a fact you have no less than 2 in your car at this exact moment.
Wrong. Although I do have 2 cups from Arby's.
Look, like I said, I don't even get like ketchup with my French fries when I go through a drive-through. Like I have zero sauces with anything when I eat.
Sauces are tough.
Yeah.
Do you eat dry burgers when you're in the drive-through too? Jesus.
That's contained in a little...
It's contained in the wrapper.
What? What is that? No one's ever... No, we're not doing this. We're not doing the gimbal compared to a burger with ketchup on it.
All right. This is you're afraid to, but whatever.
You're afraid to. I am genuinely terrified by the concept of eating bone-in wings while driving down the road.
That is true. Well, something we can all agree on.
That deeply frightens me.
So I wonder, like, how that would
Gimbal or
look
no?
if you pull up next to someone who's trying to do that and they're struggling.
Just like trying to get in.
Like, get in there. And like,
That's the thing. Like, and somehow in the distance from,
they can't be paying full attention to the road at that point.
Oh, never.
Absolutely
But
not.
in the distance, basically going down Sunset from 18 to my home, he finished whatever it is, like 6 of them. So clearly he wasn't struggling that much.
He might be the guy who just grabs one end and just throws it in there and gets everything off in one bite.
It.
You're gonna need to ask for a demonstration.
I think I may have. Here's the thing.
Can you film it and we can put it up on socials?
I don't want to upset the apple cart here because it might be one of those things that maybe he doesn't realize
it's a problem.
Yeah, and then once maybe he'll get like chicken wing yips and like choke on a bone and die or something. I don't know.
Chicken yips.
That sounds delicious.
I don't know what could happen. That's all I'm saying.
This might be the best discussion we've had so far in the show.
Pretty good.
I don't know. So that was that's part 2 of what I did in my Christmas vacation.
That's nice.
Tried to puzzle that one out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Here's me still trying to figure out how people drive with their knees.
I can't. I used to be able to do that in my first car because it was so short, but now because of the higher waist on the cars, I like to have my elbow on that and then be able to drive just with my hand resting on the window. So now I can't drive with my knees.
Here we go. Listeners, comment, get back to us on this. Is there any weird things you've either seen other people doing in a car or that you will be brave enough to admit to?
And none of the answers can be porn.
Yeah.
That's otherwise it's just all going to be porn.
Just leave porn out of this. But have you eaten bone-in chicken wings in the car? Or have you tried to eat a bowl of soup or something?
Oh, soup.
Just what weird stuff have you done outside of porn in a car while you're driving? Good poll.
Because I have definitely seen that driving down the road, and you look over and you're like,
huh?
All right.
I saw somebody reading once.
Oh,
reading?
no.
That's bizarre.
Like
Were they driving a Tesla?
They were not.
Well, that makes it even worse.
But they had the book open on the steering wheel. Like a novel, like a paperback. Not like a magazine, like a thick novel. And they were just... I sped up, get out of the way of this. There's going to be trouble.
I mean, we've all seen the basic cosmetics, right? Makeup, shaving,
Yep.
brushing teeth.
The most terrifying thing I've ever seen was eyeliner.
Oh, God.
Eyeliner in the car at all, much less while driving.
Yeah.
Oh,
My girlfriend does it all the time while I'm driving.
Eyeliner?
She refuses to do makeup until we leave, and she does all of it in the car on the way to where we need to go. And she brings the eyeliner on. I'm like, you are taking your life in your own hands right here.
certainly.
Wisconsin roads aren't great.
Yeah, that's the thing. It has nothing to do with the traffic. Like, you hit a pothole.
And you're blind.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
That scares me. I have seen painting nails. Definitely seen that.
Wow. We could almost go do a whole episode on
we're
this.
gonna have to now.
We need to move on. But seriously, listeners, let us know what weird stuff you've seen or you've done outside of porn in the car. Mm-hmm. You want to get into... do you have anything else? Anybody else have a pace lap or a neat car or anything before we jump into the meat of this episode?
I did only see one neat car, and it was just today, actually, as I was leaving the gym. I think... Because there's a guy there that owns an M2, 2M, whatever, the new
1M?
BMW, the blue one with 2 doors. Isn't that a 2 or is it a 1?
The 1M.
Yeah.
1M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that wasn't there today, but there was an Alpina B7, which is a 7 Series BMW where like everything underneath is different, right? From the tuning house is Alpina.
Yes.
And so it's like
Correct.
more horsepower. I think they even changed the interior.
Yes.
It's basically like an upcharged BMW 7 Series. Massive car. Really cool looking. But I don't know. That's the only neat car I saw, really. It's winter.
Yeah, everyone's got the good ones covered up.
It's weird that the 1 Series would be his car that he doesn't drive in the winter, if it is, in fact, the same guy. I think he might own the gym. That's my theory, because that blue BMW is there a lot.
Yeah.
Like in the way back corner of the lot.
Or he's just very protective of it.
Well, as well he should be.
Right. Absolutely. Anybody else? Or are we going to pop into this?
I think we just get started.
All right. So it's time. This is like a zombie episode. We're bringing cars back from the dead.
Tristan was talking a lot of shit. Maybe he should go first. Or should he go last?
I think we should make him wait.
suspense.
Build the suspense up.
All
I
right,
think
that's fine.
this was your idea or your stolen idea.
My
So
my segments are normally shorter anyway.
It was just my idea.
So let's start. Andrew, let's kick us off here. What car are you bringing back?
I am going to bring back a car of great mystique. A car that definitely all three of us are very familiar with.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee we've all ridden in one, if not driven it, for sure. And it's a car that everyone knows, even if they don't know that they know it.
You have my attention.
I would bring back the 5th generation Pontiac Grand Am. Oh. The greatest college car of our generation.
Yes.
Everybody went to college with one of those.
Every single person.
Yep.
How many people came back from college with
Very
one?
few.
Not important right now. But come on, I mean, that recognizable body style with, I mean, it's hard to describe. It's not, I mean, they're basically like body bulges on the bottom half of the car that run along the whole length and around the front.
Almost like pontoons.
Yeah, they're kind of like pontoons. And this all started because in the apartment we lived at before we bought the house, there was a guy who had one sitting in his driveway, a silver one. I mean, it looked pretty much from the outside, mechanically or physically perfect. Like no rust, no anything.
Wow.
I know. And it was a silver one. And I just I'd drive past it every day. And I still was like, you know what? Considering that the car was made from 99 to 05. So it's not that old, but it actually still looks pretty good considering. And, it's just like it was a compact car, front wheel drive, came in 2 and 4 doors, and had 3 different engines. There were 2 4-cylinders, a 2.2 and a 2.4. And the one that I always saw was the 3400 one, the V6.
Yes.
Or like some were badged like HO for like the high output, whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And they had the hood scoops with the vents on the front.
Yes.
Like that's the
Ram air.
Yeah, definitely that.
Ram
oh yeah,
air.
and some were badged with ram air. That's
Yeah.
right on the
Yep.
on the front bumper. Yeah. So that's the one. That's the body style I want to bring back.
I loved that car, and it came in just a fantastic green color.
It did. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely the one I want to bring back. Originally had 170 horsepower in the V6 with 200 foot-pounds of...
Woo! In the days before direct injection.
You know what's so crazy about that? It still was only 7.7 to 60. That's not
awful.
It's not awful.
Cars have gotten powerful, but they've gotten heavier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So originally 2 4-speed autos and a 5-speed manual, as well as you could get 4-wheel disc and ABS and traction control on the highest end. I assume they added that near like the end of the production run because I don't think traction control is mainstream like that. But yeah, it's definitely the body that I want to bring back because I think with just a little touch, like make the headlights. They were kind of bubbly headlights as appropriate for the time. I think if you kind of made them flat to the fascia in the front and made them just a tiny bit more angular, like stretched them out in the corners, I think you could really make that car look modern without changing too much else. Then obviously, since you're bringing it back, we have to assume that you're doing all like the modern safety features. At least that's what I picture.
Sure.
So side curtain airbags and whatever else is required now. Daytime running lights and all this ancillary BS.
All the stuff that's a given.
Yeah, you kind of have to do that. The problem with that car is The terrible interior. Do you guys remember the interior of that car?
It was pretty cheap.
It was cheap, definitely.
It's not only cheap, it was dismal.
It was very dismal.
Yeah.
And it had the GM late 90s bubble in the middle of where the CD player was.
Yes.
Because it was body shared with the Alero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it basically had like the same interior, those two cars. So that's really, I'd have to make the changes. The whole interior would have to be different. I love a smooth dash. I'm just picturing that car with like a nice modern dash, a nice touch screen in the middle for, CarPlay and Android Auto, blah, 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 Bluetooth, all that sundry crap. I would love to see a pattern for like cloth interior in that car.
Like an Argyle, or what are you thinking?
I don't know, because it's plaid in the GTI, and then isn't Porsche? Don't they have like a specific stripe pattern
In their
cloth?
interior?
There was like a special model, I think the Boxster, that has like a stripe, like right in the center of the seat.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those seats.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it too much to do like a paisley in the center, something like that? I love a paisley,
That is far too much.
but I want it anyway.
James May.
I love a paisley.
Lord.
What's wrong with paisley?
Everything.
Yeah.
Both of you?
Yep.
Nothing right about paisley.
This is appalling.
Except perhaps on a tie. But that's the only acceptable place.
God.
Maybe socks.
It's a coup.
It's not. This is a democracy.
Fine.
You've been outvoted.
We'll have stripes. Maybe a flannel pattern, like Black Watch plaid.
Black watch plaid.
For those who don't know, that's dark blue and dark green. That's that plaid pattern
Yeah.
color changed. I don't know. Something interesting, though, because
Well, so you can't have that plaid pattern if the exterior is like fire engine red, though.
why not?
Black watch plaid goes with everything.
You can get the black,
almost
red,
couldn't
and
say it.
white GTI check on any color, on the greens.
Yep.
That looks really good. That looks really good, actually.
Ugh.
It does. And the configurator it looks great.
I have no problem with the plaid, but there's got to be color options, though.
Definitely.
Depending on what the exterior is going to be.
Definitely options.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of a way to spice that car up, because the interior was so appalling. Because the one I have, the version of this car I have in my head is silver exterior, gray interior.
Oh.
That's what I have in my head.
I love silver cars. I just bought another one, but it at least has a black interior.
It's so bleak with the silver
Gray.
and gray.
Oh,
It's so bad.
I'm dying inside.
Hang in there. We still got another 40-some minutes to go.
Nice. Obviously, we just got to
If
jazz
you
it
keep
up.
talking about silver and gray cars, I certainly don't have that much time left.
Yeah, so all that stuff. The other distinguishing feature about this car, it had a honeycomb plastic inside the rear lights. I would leave that. It's such a distinctive feature of that car, but change the fixtures to LEDs. Maybe do progressive full light blinkers on the back.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think if you're gonna bring a car back, you have to bring back an engine with it, and that's kind of the.
I was going to ask, you did a lot to the interior, and you said to spice it up. You can do a lot of spicing on 170 horsepower.
That's true, definitely true. The issue is, the purist would say just go straight GM crate engines, but it's not a GM product anymore. I'm bringing this back. I'm making this my own.
It's an Andrew Tully product.
That's right. So I think the EcoBoost 2-liter from Ford, which comes as a crate motor, and the stock or regular version is 252 horsepower,
There you go.
270 foot-pounds.
There you go.
If you get that and made it to a nice, tough 6-speed manual, I think that's going to be a really fun car.
I like that. The EcoBoost is a good motor. Uh-oh. Tristan's got something.
Knowing that there's always the non-manual option,
Yes.
what would you choose?
Well, here's the other thing. I think Chevy does still make that 3400. I don't know what the new figures are for production horsepower, but I assume you could probably get, because it was 170 back in the late 90s. I would think that you could see maybe even 300 from that V6. Does that seem excessive to anybody? Because I mean,
It might require forced induction, but
that's a good point. Maybe it would.
I have no problem with large horsepower figures.
Well, I'm just thinking. It's a V6 motor. I have to imagine this 170 was significantly detuned because this would have been the lower end version of the Aveo, and I think it was actually
the
platform
Alero.
shared with the Alero as well. Well, the Alero, and what was the one above the Oldsmobile? Shoot, I forgot what the bigger version of the car was. I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Grand Prix?
No. The bigger version of the Oldsmobile. Anyways, I would think you could probably, or at least see, if you're looking at like 250 from the four cylinder, the EcoBoost 4-cylinder, I think you could definitely you'd want to see at least 280 out of a V6, and I know that's achievable.
Oh, sure.
So,
so essentially that same platform with 100 extra horsepower,
yeah,
roughly, give or take, yeah.
And then I would, driving my wife's car, it has a DCT in it, one of the Hyundai's new DCTs, and while it's not on the level of something like VW, it's actually really good, and it taught me how to shift my car better, because while that engine is more detuned for additional torque, if you race through 1 to 3, my 0 to 60 times went down by almost half a second. Just because of how that DCT taught me how to shift my car. Mm-hmm. And, so I think there are really good DCTs out there. Plus you do get that little like manual rollback. I mean,
manual rollback, and you get that, depending on the exhaust choice, you get that doomp between gears.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yep.
It's fun. So I think bringing this car back, I think I could offer a DCT. I didn't think of a name, though. But obviously it would have to be something related to a race. Monza's already taken. So.
Monza's taken.
I don't know.
Nürburgring is too much of a mouthful.
You can't just call it the ring.
Can you call it the Nordschleife?
The Nordschleife.
It's not German.
Dakota. No, I don't know. I don't have a name. I didn't think of a name. I should have.
Suzuka.
The Watkins.
The Watkins. The Glen.
The Glen. It's a pastoral place to sit.
And you can't call it the Sebring either. Damn it.
They already used Daytona.
Chrysler.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I didn't think of what to name mine. Spoiler alert.
Right.
So,
well, never mind then. I don't feel that bad. Oh, right, but of course, exterior colors. It did have that fantastic green back in the day, so you have to bring something like that, but like a forest green, basically, is what it was. But have to bring back the classic silver. Everyone saw one of those. White. Everybody saw one of those. Red, a bright red, but not a metallic, just a plain red paint.
Gloss red.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I really think that if you saw that car with just a few modifications, it would really look good right now. And it's such a different thing than everything that's on the market now. Like no flame surfacing at all. It's just the straight door and then these bulges that run all the way around the car. It's so bizarre.
It is. And all the component parts are going to be easy to come by because the fact that GM discontinued Pontiac as a whole.
Yeah.
Somebody is sitting on billions of parts bins for that car.
And that 3400 is still in production, weirdly. Mm-hmm. Well, not weirdly, for the Chevy vans.
Right.
So, parts are plentiful. Definitely.
Not a bad I'm surprised that you went economical with this.
I couldn't resist, honestly.
And I shouldn't be, given like all of these, dream cars and everything else that we've done where we just kind of making our own shit up. Like you've done this every time, so I shouldn't be, but I'm always like, he went with a car that costs like $20,000. Do you know what it cost when it was new?
Oh shoot. No, I didn't. I forgot to look that up too. That's my bad. I don't know. There's just something about that car that even when I see it on the road now, if it's in decent condition, I just think like it's so radically different from all the car design, which I've complained about all becoming the same. Like we can no longer tell who's copying who started what trend. It's getting so hard because everyone's just following, but they don't know who they're following. Then there's this car just like, boom, whoa. It didn't look like anything at the time, and it still doesn't.
Right. If I was going to revive a Pontiac, I would probably have brought back that last G8 that they had right before they got...
The Holden?
Yeah,
the Commodore.
The SS.
Well, but with the Pontiac aero trim, it
did look really good.
looked-
Everything's super angular.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked
the
badass.
G8.
Honestly, Pontiac, just in their last decade, had a bunch of cars that would be worth
Bringing back.
Yeah.
And then they died.
They got
Very
killed.
sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking for this episode, I'm like, should I do the G8?
The G8 passed through my mind as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't even think of it because of the SS continuing. What was that? Just ended last year, 2 years ago?
I think it was last year. I think it was 2017 that they stopped with that. So I mean, it would still count.
Yeah.
Because they're not making it anymore. But I decided against the G8 because I wanted to go, because this was inspired by Aston Martin, I was thinking a little more high end. Actually, I was thinking super high end.
Veyron, huh?
No. God, Lord, no.
McLaren F1.
Nope.
Ooh, that would have been good.
That would have been a good one,
Worth
but
a
no.
shot.
I already put that in the Dream Car episode. Want to change it up a bit.
Fair.
So my car that I want to bring back was produced from 2000 to 2007. It was much, much more expensive than Andrew's car would have been. And it also wasn't produced like a mass production, like a car that everybody would necessarily know.
Okay, so what Ferrari is it?
Nope.
I wouldn't know.
It is, yeah, Tristan, we went through that already. Tristan wouldn't know.
They're still making cars.
Who's that again? Who's that again?
Ferrari? Something about a horse?
No, it's the bull, right?
No, my car
paint.
that I want to resurrect is the Celine S7.
Wow. That's a deep cut.
Oh, yeah.
Deep cut.
Oh, man. How did I not think of that? Of
So-
course.
So, for those of you who don't know, Celine is a company was founded in 1983. It's based out of Southern California, American company, and they produce specialty sports cars, but they're based on existing platforms. They partner with manufacturers. For instance, their current offering, if you want to go to Celine and buy a vehicle, they have the S302, which is based off of a Ford Mustang.
So if you couldn't tell by the 302,
They have
it's
an
a Mustang.
S620, which is based off of the Camaro.
Oh, really?
They have an S570, which is based off of the Challenger. So they hit all the big three from Detroit.
Didn't know that.
Here's the one that threw me for a loop. Current offering, they have what's called a GTX, which is based off of a Tesla Model S.
Wow.
Celine has hot rodded a Tesla Model S, still all electric.
That's deeply impressive. What I mean, Celine adapting to the electric trend to that degree. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but Celine at least used to go almost entirely all out. So brand new body kits, brand new wheels,
Yes.
tunes, exhaust. I mean,
The whole thing.
Yeah, they did everything.
Like it resembles a Mustang or a Camaro, but it was all different.
Yeah.
On the under the skin. And even like you said, aero bits and those types of things. So that's what their current offering is, and that's what 99% of what they do. They take a already produced road car and they just soup the shit out of it. What made the S7 special was that was 100% designed, produced, built by Celine. It wasn't based on anything. It wasn't based on any existing road car. So all handmade. I couldn't find they never released a count of how many they produced. The best I could find, and when I say the best I could find, on different forums and posts, the most common number that came up was just north of 100 in 7 years.
Wow.
So from 2005 to 2007, they were twin turboed, but from 2000 to 2004, they were normally aspirated. They produced 21 of the twin turbo editions. So let's go through some specs here. This is a beast. And if you don't know what this thing looks like, folks, if you've watched Bruce Almighty, the silver
Such a weird.
no, seriously, the silver sports car that he drives for a good portion of that movie is a Celine S7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this thing, super light. So they used aluminum honeycomb composite, lightweight steel, which helped lead to a 2,865 pound curb weight. The normally aspirated version had 550 horsepower. Wow. If you went to the twin turbo from 2005 to 2007, you got bumped up to 750 horsepower. And they also
100 horsepower per turbo.
and if that wasn't enough, there was a performance pack you could tack onto that got you to 1,000 horsepower.
All right. In a car that weighs a napkin.
Basically, it's 0 to 60 in 3.3. 0 to 100 in 7.1.
Yikes.
That's deeply impressive.
Yeah.
Standing quarter mile. Standing from dead stop quarter mile, 11.35 seconds. Under 12-second quarter.
Let me take my teeth out to be impressed.
Wow. Top speed.
This is why we need to video record these sessions, though. What you just did is evidence enough.
All right.
Top speed on the normally aspirated version from 2000 to 2004 was 220 miles an hour. The twin turbo version, 248.
How was that not... Sorry, in what? So that would be like 06, 07 when they made that?
Right.
How was that not the record holder then?
I think it might have been when it was the Veyron.
Well, no, I was thinking production numbers, actually. Because I think there is a minimum production, right?
There is. Yeah, and I think it's too low. I think that's going to be hand-built hobbyist level.
Yeah, because because the Venom never qualifies.
Yeah.
They don't make enough.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our answer.
There you go.
That's why it wasn't the official record holder for top speed on a road legal car.
Production car, yeah.
Right, exactly. Cost, because it was handmade and all this cool stuff, roughly $500,000.
It's less than I thought, frankly.
Yeah.
$500,000 car.
To go nearly 250 miles an hour.
It was a mid-rear engine configuration, so there was actually a trunk in the front and the back. It had two trunks.
Front trunk.
They actually moved the driver's seat. It wasn't full center seat like the McLaren was, but they did move it towards the center a little bit. It was an asymmetrical interior for weight distribution. It came with its own custom luggage to fit in those two goofy trunks.
Oh, that's when you know you're getting...
That's
like,
right.
So
it wasn't just performance here. Like it was... They wanted some sort of luxury with it too, like your own custom luggage. It had leather interior with aluminum trim. It came with an LCD screen, a backup camera, but also so you could feel like a race car driver, quick release steering wheel.
It had a backup camera.
It had a backup camera on it.
Wow.
Yes, this thing was awesome. And you mentioned the Venom. Mm-hmm. At the time, it was only the third U.S. produced mid or rear engine supercar after the two Venoms.
Yep.
At 160 miles an hour, it makes its own weight and downforce. So you can technically, at 160, drive it upside down.
Drive it upside down, yeah.
Just
It's always fun.
Just a crazy car, right?
Yeah.
Just an amazing car. And you can kind of see why I want to bring it back. Well, yeah. But the reason, this is a driver's car. That's why I want to bring... This is like driver's Nirvana type car. High horsepower, rear wheel drive, mid rear engine, manual, and not blip shift manual. Right. This was heel toe, 3-pedal, row your own 6-speed. So this is a pure 100% driver's car. The one thing, honestly, I wouldn't, besides the ancillary stuff like you mentioned, the airbags and all those types of things.
Yeah, gotta have it.
Gotta have it. I would want to lower the cost in this somehow. So instead of doing handmade, I would try to get this into mass production.
With
purchasing the molds,
with like a carbon fiber body, or would you want to go with a heavier like metal or aluminum fab?
It would have to go, it would probably be aluminum. I don't think I can go carbon fiber if I want to keep the cost down.
No, then you're still looking at Koenigsegg. Or wait, McLaren might have kind of cracked that one. I think they're now
cracked that code?
A carbon fiber shell, or at least majority carbon fiber shell.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's like the driver compartment is all carbon fiber, and then the front subframe and rear subframe are like lightweight aluminum.
Yes, that's what it is.
Lightweight aluminum fiberglass, something like that. Still lightweight.
That's carbotanium.
You got to go with fiberglass.
It might be
Corvette homage.
Yeah. It might be, it's super lightweight, but not super expensive.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Oh, that's it.
The fact that,
I'm sold now.
I appreciate your approval. The fact that it's not, if we can, buy all the tooling like the guy did, some mystery buyer did with the Astons, and get molds, get the machinery, where it's not gonna be just handmade, you can actually just kind of start stamping these things out, can kind of drive that cost down.
The question would be if they're handmade.
Now, is it going to...
Does that even exist?
Right.
That's another thing.
We're assuming it does.
We're assuming there's got to be plans for it somewhere.
Yeah, they were still made in a factory. You're not like...
It wasn't...
Then again, Koenigsegg, to go back to them, while they do have, yes, a factory, the handmade...
It's more of an assembly space.
And literally like pressing layers of carbon fiber together and stuff. I don't think Saleen was doing that, but...
Well, look, Saleen is still in existence, so I'm sure... all of the specs, all of the blueprints, everything is still on file somewhere. I can talk to somebody there and figure out what went on.
I wonder if...
And we can figure out how to make this thing more of a mass product. Now, when I say I'm lowering the cost, this is not going to be like your Grand Am.
Of course not.
This is not good. This is still probably going to be in the six figures, but I want to take it from $500,000 maybe down to the 150 range, 200 range.
I was thinking maybe 300.
I was thinking
300, 350 if you're lucky.
But let's hear the rest of his specs. He may have some interesting engine applications.
Not a whole. I like a lot of horsepower. You know me. So the twin turbo is still a thing. Honestly, I would do away with the custom luggage. Like, you don't need custom luggage.
This guy wants to get rid of the custom luggage.
Like I said, this is a driver's car. It's got a quick release steering wheel. This is going to be a track day thing at best. Why do you need custom luggage?
That's fair.
Like,
put your helmet in.
He's got you there.
Passenger seat. How big is it?
Is there one?
You could, yeah.
So the driver's seat was off center. I didn't know if there.
It's probably small.
It's
it
big
helmet
enough to
size?
hold that. We've got a helmet in this room.
And if you can hold a helmet, you can hold a child. So
right. And at least one or two grocery bags.
Logical leap.
Entertain and terrify your offspring.
Exactly. Speaking of terrify, an S7 was one of the only cars that genuinely scared me one time.
Huh?
Yeah.
I was driving and I got passed by
You've
one.
seen one?
Yeah.
I've seen one in
I've
person
never
too.
even seen one in real life.
Two.
What the hell?
I've seen one in person.
One yellow one silver one. And the silver one, I believe, was unmodified. So it was loud, but yeah. The yellow one was heavily modified. Might have been the performance package one. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I got blown past by one of those on the freeway, and it was earth-shatteringly loud.
It'd be loud.
It is so loud.
Like race car loud?
Yeah. And I didn't...
Like the Cadillac DPI, like
and
GM roar
and I
loud.
didn't see it coming, obviously, because I wasn't looking behind me for a second and a half. And
So you don't need to spend a lot of time on the stereo.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it just blew past me, and I jumped. I thought I was going to crash my own car. Because explosion had happened next to me as far as I knew.
Yeah.
It was genuinely terrifying.
I didn't see one running. The one I saw...
So one parked, the silver one parked.
The one I saw, I was out visiting my grandparents in Arizona. And they don't live on a golf course, but they live across the street.
Golf course adjacent.
Golf course adjacent. And one of the things, and because I was small at the time, well, couldn't drive myself anywhere, but 12, 13, whatever it was. One of the things that my mom and my grandma liked to do was, like, there's always open houses, like, on the golf course, and there's mega $1 million mansions. So, like, let's take some time and just kind of roll through.
Sure.
And see how the other half lives, right?
That's what I would do. Yeah.
So I tagged along a couple times, and next door to the open house we were going into, out in the driveway, was a candy apple red with black interior. Wow. Saleen S7 in the driveway.
Imagine keeping that in your driveway.
Yeah, I didn't even have it.
Like, yeah, what's
like
in the garage?
Exactly. If you're keeping that in the driveway for the sun to roast it.
What's in the garage?
What's in the garage? Like, and I was smitten. I've
never even seen one.
Gorgeous car. The front end was almost McLaren F1-ish, but it had a long tail. It didn't get cut off short.
Yeah. They do look vaguely similar. I
from the
think
front,
from
they
the
look.
front,
but when you see it on the side and you see that side profile, it almost kind of slopes up at the end. Just gorgeous car. So that's my pick. That's my resurrected car.
That's a good pick.
Well, see, now here's what I think you should do. You should go over to Dodge and get the Hellcat engines. That's what you need.
Okay.
Keep the cost somewhat lower. I mean, what are they, supercharged instead of...
They're supercharged. I don't know if they make those as like a crate.
They do. They do.
Really?
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah.
You're onto something.
That's what you need.
Which is why they're putting it in everything.
Yes.
They'll put it in a Trackhawk and whatever else. Like
they've brought them out as crate motors.
Yeah.
You're onto something.
That's what you need.
That might be, yeah. I'll consider it. Let me figure out how to make an S7 first.
Right.
I got to go to Celine's headquarters and figure out how we're going to do this. And no, I don't know what I'm going to name it.
Yeah, I should have thought of that.
The N7.
The N7. Actually, if you could co-op the branding from Mass Effect.
Yeah. The Nick 7, but it looks like that.
Thank you. I got the
Phil Ken 7.
Okay, what Audi do you have for us tonight, Tristan?
No, I want you guys to lodge official guesses. So I think you're going to be just brain melted. I really do.
Do we get any hints at all?
I can tell you.
Tell us a decade at least.
90s starting.
Early 90s.
If it goes into the early 2000s, I believe. The one I'm thinking of is specifically 90s, but I believe they continued into then. 90 to, let's see, 2001 is the one they ended.
90 to 2001.
Play 20 questions.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to come up with a guess without asking another question. I don't know. Did Jeep make a Wagoneer during that period? What else would he make?
Yeah, so it's either going to be Jeep,
A
Audi, or
hatchback?
Subaru.
A hatchback WRX?
Was it 90 to 2?
Those.
I think they stopped making them later than 2001, though.
They did.
They stopped making them way later than that.
Like, I hadn't started making them
90
yet.
to 2001.
I know.
I almost want to say like some sort of like fair lady, like some sort of
exotic car?
like a Nissan or a
Nick's close.
yeah.
All right, what is it? Tell us.
The last generation Honda Prelude.
Oh my! What?
Whoa! What? Give me a second to pick my jaw up off the floor.
I did almost die.
So, here's the why behind this. I think there has been a ridiculous obsession, yet failure to meet the demands of the people who want these cars for small, sporty cars.
So, remind me again. The Prelude was a smaller two-door, right?
Yes, it was a two-door, long hood Honda product.
Yeah.
And the trim, the JDM trim, broke the 200 horsepower barriers, like 210,
Sure.
217, something like that. In America, they hovered just under 200 until the last revision when I think they got to 205. Just a regular 4-cylinder. It did have a 4-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual. Front, because it's a Honda product. Not going to get any rear-wheel drive out of them.
Of course.
Despite all our best efforts.
Yep. So front, 4-cylinder, and to me, I feel like they're kind of the overlooked historical like kids car that Honda made.
I don't disagree with that.
Like the Civic was always a big deal, especially things like the CRX.
Yes.
Things like that.
And the what was the hardtop one? The Del Sol.
Yes, the Del Sol, which oddly enough for Honda products was like they're always the rustiest cars I've ever seen.
I don't think they were made well.
No, they were clearly not. But yeah, so it was always like the Del Sol, the Civic, especially SI Civics, the
Yes.
CRX Civics, always a huge deal. But I think the Prelude was, it still looks good. I saw one the other day, and I was like, okay, yes, 90s, but not bad 90s.
I totally agree.
And I think that is very much deserving of a bring it back from the dead and refresh it.
There's something like weirdly NSX-ish about
Yes,
the way
it's
it
like
looks.
it's like a little NSX coupe.
Yeah.
Like
It's
not
like the NSX's little cousin.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, it was that same angular design. Big flat creases in the panels, stuff like that. And some of the interior options that were out there were bonkers.
Really?
They have this and I don't know if it's JDM only, if they was optioned in the US, but I'm just looking at pictures of them and they're not modified. Like this is like picture of a 1997 Prelude.
They had Paisley, didn't they?
No, but they had like this ridiculously lustrous red leather.
What?
Like, it was awesome.
Sort of like, the first car I ever remember is my mom's old Oldsmobile that had red leather.
It was just like oxblood shoe leather, like red.
Yeah,
so good.
That's nice.
And so and nice like bucket bolstered, like almost racing seats, but not quite. They seemed in the car very large and luxurious, but also like they would hold you during a turn.
I love to be cuddled.
Exactly.
I need cuddles.
They'll cuddle you. So that's my vote, because based on, in my opinion, the rather dismal exterior and interior looks of things like the FRS, Hyundai decided they were just done with the Genesis.
Yeah.
The coupe version. And, and Subaru made a slightly better looking exterior for that same car. But it's very it's difficult. The BRZ and the FRS and the GT86 in Europe and everywhere else. Same car, modest cosmetic changes on the outside, and the inside was the cheapest garbage.
It really was.
And I feel like with Honda being Honda, they could put together an exciting car, maybe without all the bells and whistles of a Type R, but similar to what you're looking at in like a SI Civic, in a two-door, long hood, and I would even keep the kind of very distinctly front-mounted headlights.
Yeah.
A lot of cars nowadays, they kind of have them where they like kind of eyebrow up around the outside.
I think that's part of a requirement, but whatever.
I would have them do that as little as possible, and in fact have them come up over the hood, just slightly, because you can see that in the original one they kind of curl up a little bit, and then the hood latch is actually just slightly further back. And I love that. I think that's what is most
sort of like what Audi's doing with their newest version of cars. There's like more front, and then the hood is kind of behind it.
Yeah, it doesn't go all the way, like on a lot of cars the hood goes all the way to like where it bends over the front of the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And it steps that back a little bit. But I've seen a couple of them over the past few weeks. I'm like, these consistently look good, and I think they deserve to come back, and I think Honda can do it well.
Yeah.
But this is going to be you, not Honda.
I don't know. I don't think we specified that.
That's true,
I guess,
we didn't.
But
I guess.
For mine, it was, in my mind, the question was, what should the manufacturer bring back?
Sure.
And I think that they can do, as with this one, even in the 90s, a high quality interior for not very much cost. Significantly solid power output, even in the 90s, that four-cylinder was putting out over 200. And nice, smooth manual. I think it's something that deserves a comeback.
It is a really good looking car.
The only thing that I would change is the exterior colors.
Okay.
Honda never gives you choices.
No, I think if they come in like black, silver, and then the one I would keep is like a deep, deep royal blue was nice. But yeah, all sorts of other than that.
Well, you like silver cars.
Yeah, I mean, I keep silver, I keep the royal blue. Scrap it otherwise.
We just need more.
Well, you need to give them more
colors.
options. Though.
I'm saying, but it's like scrap the ones that they had. So I would add things like mica black, like a dark orange. One of the coolest ones I've ever seen, color wise, was Audi made it for a while. It was like black lava mica. So it was black, and the mica flecks were red.
Ooh,
so in the right sunlight, you get like a red bounce off of it.
Yeah.
But the color was definitely black.
That's awesome.
Something like that would be exciting and neat. But I think I think put it in a bunch of exciting exterior colors. Put together a solid interior. I mean, Honda puts together good looking interiors.
For sure.
They're not, revolutionary, but they're solid. And put a fun 4-liter and a 5 or 6 speed manual. And
4-liter or 4-cylinder?
4-cylinder.
Okay.
I thought that's what he meant.
Yeah. 4-liter would be
huge.
A lot of engine for that car.
Although that could be fun.
You could
4-liter
do it.
V6 in that. I'll bet you could probably fit a 4-liter V6 in that car transverse.
Oh yeah.
If you're lucky, yeah.
That'd be the sport pack.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Leave a lot of room in the engine bay for LS swaps.
Down LS swaps.
May I suggest one other modification?
Absolutely.
Just because of the 90s nostalgia, pop-up headlights.
Maybe, but they never had them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That would be an improvement.
Original pop-up headlights. I wonder if you could even make pop-up headlights meet
DOT requirements anymore.
Or if they just don't, like if it's impossible now.
Yeah.
Because they're so mechanically unreliable.
Yeah. No, but like I said, I really think that the Honda Prelude during its own time was undersold by Honda and mostly ignored, and I don't think that that's right. Now, that being said, I'm only going by looks and specifications. Have I ever driven one? No.
But
it could have been a pile of trash to drive.
Right, exactly. But that's always something that you can make that improvement.
I feel like with Honda, you pretty much know.
You know what you're going to get.
It's going to be.
know what you're going to get.
It's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Always.
Pretty
basically,
all right.
that's anyway, no matter how you slice it. But so that's my request. Of all, it's weird, but it's because of this aching hole that the BRZ and the departed Genesis Coupe leave. And I think that there's space for a long-hooded sports coupe in a reasonable price range again.
That's not a
You've heard
Mustang or Camaro.
Or an AMG.
In a reasonable price
Yeah,
range.
you're not touching one of those for less than 100,000. Actually, you know what? I haven't mentioned this to you guys. I have a sneaking suspicion that somewhere near where I live, there's a secret NSX. I've seen NSX headlights or taillights way down the road a couple times when I've gone home at night. And I think the guy might drive it at night. They're so recognizable.
Like revived version or original?
No. Original.
Ooh.
You cannot mistake those taillights for anything.
Nope.
That's awesome.
I swear that's what I'm saying.
You need to go on the hunt.
It's like an urban legend.
I know. I think there's a secret NSX in Waukesha. I need to find it.
Yeah, you should find it and report back. Interesting timing by Tristan for his one surprise of the entire year before he goes back to Audi and Jeep.
That's
harsh.
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
I don't appreciate it.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
He's really flipped over a new leaf with this engine tuning thing.
Yeah, he tuned the
We're gonna
Subaru.
go back onto that again.
He tuned the Subaru. He's bringing back a Honda from the dead.
He's a changed man.
Wow. He's looking at houses.
Anybody who listens to this who's a realtor, stop sending me houses.
They know. They feel it. They feel it.
My realtor is one of our most loyal listeners,
I know.
too.
You met
her.
Which is
you
great.
You met her at Road
and
America.
She's a lovely person. Don't send me houses yet.
Bonnie, send him all the houses.
Inbox at checkenginepodcast.com.
All the
I'm
houses,
just going to
Bonnie.
turn that off on my phone now, thanks.
Oh, man. No, that's good. That's good stuff.
I think mine's the best.
How am I the only person who hasn't seen a Saline S7 in person? S7 in person?
Yeah, saline, I think, is like the solution you put in your eyes, isn't it?
I don't like Saline. It sounds
That's
less
how it's
cool.
pronounced, man. What are you going to do about it?
Say saline? Continue to say saline?
Just out of spite, just go ahead and
I
do it.
have no opinion either way.
I just don't understand how I'm the only one to have not. Did you see 2 in the state of Wisconsin, Tristan?
Oh God, no.
Okay,
No.
okay, all right. At first I was
I've seen none of them here.
Okay.
I saw one in Florida and one in California.
And I saw one in Arizona, so...
I can't imagine there's one in this state. If they produced 100, maybe.
You never
2
know.
per
Maybe
state.
John Menard, got one sitting in the garage somewhere.
Could be.
Or who owns ABC Supply.
Why are you asking me that?
Well, whatever
even know
her
what
name
that
is,
is.
she's worth $7 billion. Like,
What?
yeah, richest woman in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
So maybe she's got one stashed away. You don't know.
I'm just a little jealous.
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised all the times we've been to Road America, we haven't seen one there. Like someone brought it up from Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like even because the thing is, even the specialty parking paddock at Road America is still on grass. You know?
Yeah, and someone parked a 918 on it.
That's a really good point, actually.
$1 million Porsche 918.
On the floody end, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't know, but...
Yeah.
Also didn't move it after they found out.
That's when you know you got too much money.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like this. This is a good episode. I like
it's
this
fun.
episode.
Anyone have any quick hitters, other cars that they'd want to bring back?
Yeah, you said you had an ancillary. Like, you don't need to get any details, just like a quick fire.
Yeah. It was the I was going to fall back on the G8.
So was I.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying the G8.
Yep.
I just never even considered that. But
Did you have a backup?
Yeah, and weirdly, it's also a Pontiac. But
Wow.
The Aztec?
Pontiac needs to come back from the dead, apparently.
No,
the Montana.
No. Stop yourself. The Pontiac / Saturn. That little.
Yes.
I just totally. The name just totally
Sunfire?
escaped me.
No.
No. Oh my God.
The
Sorry, I
the
literally
Pontiac
forgot.
was the Solstice.
Yes. The
Oh, the little
Solstice.
two-seater sports car.
Yes.
Saturn, I don't remember though.
Wasn't it like a Sky?
I think it was the Sky.
Yes,
Yeah, it was the Sky.
Yes, it was that. Yep.
Yeah,
Dumb
Pontiac
name.
Solstice
A
Saturn
great
Sky.
car.
Just a little 2-seater roadster. I mean,
I like the Saturn one more, honestly.
in terms of looks.
Yeah. Yep.
But I just feel like Pontiac was at this moment where they
Were about to be great, and then they
Yes.
died.
and then they got killed. It's such
Sad.
a bummer.
What if we just bring back Pontiac?
I think they should as a performance line.
Like it was
Yeah.
actually when GM was killing stuff off, there was a rumor that Roger Penske himself was going to buy Saturn and keep producing them.
You know what's so funny about that? My mom was shopping for cars at the time when Saturn was closed, and one of the cars she was looking at was a Saturn, and the sales guy I hated him, but he was just
We already did that episode.
Yeah, stop.
it was like, don't worry about it. We're gonna get bought by Penske, and then he was out of a job like the next week, so I won. But but I do remember when that was a thing.
That was a rumor for a minute. Yeah. Well, on that,
Yeah, on me winning.
and on Andrew's victory,
We can put together a non-marathon episode.
Where are we?
Just about an hour.
we're at an hour.
Boom.
We can tie this up with thank yous.
Yeah, I guess I have to thank Pontiac, right?
Damn it, you stole my thank you.
Because you were gone too soon. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I
In
agree.
memoriam of Pontiac.
Rip.
Rip Pontiac. Tristan?
I'm going to have to thank the Wikipedia sources section of any page. Because then you can go to the original information and find a whole bunch more from there.
Yes,
It's a cheap way to do research.
definitely.
But it works for the most part.
Although your professor will yell at you.
They will.
Wikipedia's not a
Luckily,
source.
we're not college.
I still have people say that to me today.
I know.
Idiots.
I would like to thank YouTube because I was unsure on how to pronounce Celine.
Oh God.
So I went to YouTube and found a shop tour. And in the first 6 seconds, we're going to take you behind the scenes at Celine. Got it. And I wrote the pronunciation down here on my sheet, and I was good to go.
Celine.
This guy pretending like he knew how to pronounce saline.
So thank you, YouTube, for providing me quick access to how to learn how to pronounce something. And
Pronunciation manual. Look it up. Don't look it up.
and don't look that up. And as always, thank you to you, the listener, for tuning in. Even if we suck, you guys are always awesome for giving us your support, which we cannot say thank you enough. We're going to sound like a broken record, but every single like, every single comment, every single share, every single number on the Anchor page for who tunes in, where the listens are, means a lot to us. So let us know what you think. Let us know which car you would want to resurrect. Let's get those comments going too. You got a lot of homework after this episode.
Yeah.
Weird driving activities, and which car would you bring back from the dead? So find us on all the socials. Send us a message or post on our wall on Facebook. Tweet at us. We're on Twitter at Check Engine Pod. If you have a picture of a car you'd bring back, hit us up on Instagram at Check Engine Pod. If you're really into what we're doing, we do have support pages. We have one on Anchor.fm, and we also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/Check Engine Podcasts. Everything that goes in comes out with better content for you, whether it be through new equipment or new trips that we can report on or anything like that. So we thank you in advance. Give us some reviews, Facebook, iTunes reviews, wherever you can actually post a review and a comment. Please do so. Let us know how we're doing. And with that, it's time to let you go until next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. We can't wait to talk to you again. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.